Push. What happened up front from your vantage point?
Well, I think just, I really felt I struggled to get in rhythm all day. And so I just think, it just seemed like just so many self-inflicted wounds at all levels early in the game and certainly coming out in that second half. So it's on me and, we got to play cleaner and that was obviously undisciplined football and it starts with me.
How did you see things kind of snowball and impact the quarterback?
Yeah, I just think, again, I think there were some things early which certain calls maybe put us behind the sticks, a lot of second and long situations, and allowed them to pin their ears back. Again, we got to stay ahead of the sticks. It was something we talked about all week and obviously didn't execute.
What's the message to Brock after a game like that?
Well, I think we know there's ups, there's downs. Obviously, put that one on me, and we're fully confident again in everything he can do. We got to put him in better situations, and that's part of the struggle of the ups and downs. Certainly, when you get in this conference play, and we got to be ready to go next week.
What does an adjustment on the offensive line really look like? I mean, obviously, Georgia's coming in, and they're going to be just as and more physical, faster, stronger in front. So what does the offensive line have to do? What does it look like?
We got to get back to work, and I don't think it's anything different, whether it was a win today or what happened. Everything is a work in progress, and we certainly got to have our hearts open and self-assessment for all of us. Again, you're going to hear me say it over and over again, it starts with me, and so we got to put those guys in better situations. We got to take the next step this week and get ready to play.
There seemed to be a good amount of optimism around the front five going into the season. Was today a surprise to you as much as it was for some of us watching?
I think we got to look at the film, again, and just see, I know Mincy left the game early and worked to come back. And again, we got to look at the film. It's hard, just right after to see exactly where we're at. But again, it starts with me putting them in better positions. At times we ran the ball well. We just weren't able to sustain drives, and we got to do that.
The penalties, I know that was you praised the group for how clean the operation was a week ago, but that kind of went the other way today.
Yeah, certainly. Again, I just felt coming out of the second half, it was almost every time we felt we made a play early on first and second down. Obviously, we had a self-inflicted wound, and so certainly behind the sticks for most of that second half. Again, we got to get back to stressing. Exactly about that pre-snap and win the pre-snap and get back to work.
Only 3 completed passes the first 3 quarters and 6 for the game. How do you explain that?
Again, just never got in rhythm tonight. Just did not get in rhythm flat out. We felt they were playing soft. We felt we had to stay patient. Just again, it's completely on me.
And one extended.
We end up, forcing a punt there, then on that next drive, we have an opportunity to get off the field, on the 4th and short. Again, that's a situation, you can't jump off sides. They're going hard count. You work it in practice. Big learning lesson for the, inside backers. Like, you can't touch a down defensive lineman because they're going to be jittery in that moment, and so you got to just, give the call without touching them. So, but we had opportunities, and another third down on the next drive. We had a missed sack, and then a good route concept that they ran, and he was able to sort of extend the play and then throw it downfield, and it's just one of those days like that. We've got to play better in crucial moments. I think there was a lot of good things that they did, and negative, generating negative plays, and we really emphasized, with our guys this year on third down, and, you just don't know which third down is going to be the one that changes the game, right? And it stings. It hurts for the guys, but the bottom line is in football, you got to freaking lick your wounds, right, and come back to the next week and play again. mean, because if you just let this one linger, then, it's not going to be any better.
Coach said that he had an issue with the effort from the team. Is that something you saw as well?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the bottom line is, we have to strain to the finish. In every situation, strain. And so we'll go back and we'll look at the tape, and identify those moments or where that didn't occur, and we're not going to shy away from it. We'll own every one of them. Obviously, we've got to coach better. I've got to do a better job, in those moments, and we've got to clean this thing up in a hurry.
Brad, I'm sorry if you already asked this, but was there any common theme between a few of those coverage busts where they were just wide open down the field that you could see immediately?
Yeah, again, the one on the third down where we missed the sack, it was a tougher route, because with the missed sack and the play extended, it allowed a soft spot to sort of increase. There's some some things that you can get adjusted, and we made that adjustment on the sideline. The one late was just a dropped coverage, and the player knew it. Like, he just, the one thing that happens late in ball games is you feel the game getting away, you start to press and try to do too much, and guys have to realize, hey, listen, even in those moments, you just have to do your job. And no matter how insignificant it may feel, and it may feel that you're just getting run out of the play and you want to try to help, but the time is that, hey, if you drop your primary responsibility to help somebody else in theirs, it could be a big play, and it was late.
Brad, was there a difference in how you guys had to approach South Carolina when Ashford came in for Sellers and then when Lenore's came back in?
Yeah, I mean, you understand, what kind of style of each player is, and so you got to be, ready and alert. And, but again, I thought there were some crucial moments that, again, if you want to win a close, tight ball game like that, you have to win those moments, and we did.
Sellers was like 10 for 20.
Hats off to South Carolina. They played a great game. Got to get some things corrected on offense, obviously, and get back to work on Monday.
Brock, did the pressure get to you eventually? It seemed like you were kind of under a lot of it, especially early on.
South Carolina's defensive line, they played a great game. Some of that's definitely on me, though. Just got to be able to get the ball out, be able to move around the pocket and stuff. Dudes were open. Just got to make sure, do my job of getting them the ball. Definitely could have played better back there myself.
Last week, it took a little while, but once you got into a rhythm, the offense really started rolling. How come you all weren't able to really get into a rhythm today?
I wish I had that answer for you. Obviously, I would have tried to do some more stuff, at a halftime and stuff, but not really sure why. Felt like we ran the ball well. Pass, play action game was there at times. Completed a few balls. I don't really have an answer for you, but we're going to try to figure that out when we sit down and watch the film.
What do you think the key is to bouncing back from this?
Bouncing back, I feel like everything today that kind of shot ourselves in the foot a few times. Everything is pretty correctable, Gonna have to watch the film and get back to it. Kind of just South Carolina had a great defense, great team and stuff, but at the end of the day, we beat ourselves on offense.
This was obviously a challenging day, but looking forward, you're playing a team you know pretty well. What kind of emotions are going to come with that, and also the challenge that they're going to bring to Croverfield?
Oh, yeah. Georgia's got a good squad. We got a good squad as well, but the main thing on the mind right now is just putting this game to bed, making sure we get our corrections, making sure we're going through those at full speed, full tilt on Monday, and then we'll attack Georgia when it's time.
Mark said you got dinged on the shoulder. Was that in the first quarter, second quarter? When did that happen?
Kind of been a while, but maybe back of the first game and stuff. But just kind of something you got to do. Number one part of being a quarterback is toughness, and just not going to blame anything on that. Just got to play better.
Mark, on your throwing shoulder?
Yes, sir.
Mark said several times he wasn't happy with
says that. What do you think that means, and how do you fix it?
Oh yeah. At Kentucky, we see ourselves as just a blue collar football team. Tough dudes, and we just didn't answer on offense. Defense played their butts off today, and definitely in the first half and stuff. But we got to be able to move the ball, and help those guys out and put some points on the board.
Brock, in putting this behind you, what's the key to having a short memory?
Short memory, it all goes back to the same thing. You can't take the highs too high or the lows too low. Obviously, this is a low, but you just got to stay even keel and stuff, making sure everybody's coming back in with a hard hat and hammer on Monday, ready to get back to work, and just really learn from this game and try to correct the stuff that we obviously didn't do well.
Very surprised. Never expect to lose. Never expect to see us lose exactly like that, of course, but just never expected it.
It felt like you guys would maybe take a step or two forward, and then a mistake or a penalty would happen. How come y'all were unable to respond, as Coach Stoops said so many times?
Man, South Carolina had a great game plan. That's all I can say, honestly. Yeah.
You all did have things kind of going on that one drive where I think you and Jason carried it 11 times. What was going right that time for the offense?
Toting the rock right, in the right holes. The O-line blocking it up right, of course. Great calls. And really give a big shout out to the O-line, honestly. So I would say the O-line was blocking great.
What do you guys tell each other, specifically to Brock? What do you tell Brock as he tries to bounce back from this tough game?
Man, it isn't anything new. When adversity hits, that's kind of our motto. What are you going to be and what are you going to do? What are we going to do from this loss? Are we going to dwell on, everything that we did bad, or are we going to focus on the things that we did good and capitalize on those things? So that's what we're telling Brock. And it's not just Brock alone. He wasn't the only guy out there. Everybody on the team just keep that optimistic mindset.
Demi, what has to change for this to change?
Got to put the points up. Got to score the ball. Plenty of time. Simple. Exactly.
You got Georgia next week. They haven't given up a touchdown in two games.
Mm-hmm.
How do you attack them?
I mean, gotta go back to the drawing board, see where they're lacking at on film, and attack that. So that's how we're gonna do it.
Is this one of the tougher losses you've had to swallow in your career?
Yeah, most definitely, because the deficit, the gap, and touchdowns to, just the worst game, worst loss.
Not having a correct fit with our hands for the holding calls, not getting lined up properly for those penalties. I mean, that's just what it is. It's that detailed execution, letting little things slide that you just can't do in this league.
When the three penalties happen back to back to back, just how hard is it to get it going back after that? You're backed up against the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. You feel like you pop a good run, you look back and there's a flag, and it happened 3 times. And like I said earlier, it's just a complete lack of detail and focus and execution on our part. And that was what was the most disappointing and frustrating from the entire team this week.
You've been here a while now. This is only week 2. What's your message to the guys in that offensive line room with you there going forward? Because number one team in the country is on its way in.
Yeah, you just got to go to work. I mean, there's nothing you can do to replace that. There's nothing you can do other than just put your head down and go to work. This league's a tough league. You draw big matchups in week 2 in conference play, and it only gets even more difficult every week. Teams get better, and so we just have to have a better week of practice, better detailed execution, and just put our nose down and go to work.
People look to the quarterback, obviously, Brock, to have a better game in this situation, but obviously that is a combined effort with him and you guys. So what do you tell him, in practice as he tries to bounce back from this game?
I just, something I think that Coach Wolf said to us this week, and we're going to continue to work, is to win football games in this league, you have to dominate your box. Everyone has a little box in the game. The quarterback's got a bigger box than most people, but as a center, it's my box to handle nose guards, interior defensive tackles, and set the fronts of protections. I need to dominate that box. Our tight ends, they're handling the edge players, they're running routes, they're blocking. That's their box. And I think if we just commit to everyone dominates their box. You worry about doing your job. Don't try to do anything extra. Don't blame anybody. Don't feed into any of that crap. Just handle your business and work as a team week in and week out, and get the rest of that stuff will take care of itself. And obviously we didn't do that today, and so that's embarrassing on our part and something we need to clean up, but that's going to be our focus going into next week. Yeah.
You guys' morale, how do you bounce back for that?
I mean, it had our morale down when you said it was up, but all we can do is come to practice Monday, just work, and be better for next week.
Here, what was happening with maybe the missed assignments in the back end on some of their big pass plays?
We had just some like you said, we just had some missed assignments, and there's some flexible assignments that we can do. Just come in and practice, just focus on that, and just not making mental mistakes.
South Carolina started sprinkling Ashford in along with Sellers. How did that keep you guys a little bit more on edge with them being able to do a little bit of everything?
It didn't keep us balanced because they both kind of do the same thing. They both kind of run the quarterback, so we was prepared for it.
Coach Stoops talking about that. You guys didn't have the normal response as used to when something goes wrong. What do you think?
I can't answer that because I really don't know. I mean, they beat us. We just got to come back next week and just be ready for next week.
When you are talking to some of those newer guys, younger guys, whatever the case may be, your leader on this team, you guys had a disappointing week. The #1 team in the country is coming in. How do you keep the morale up because it's early in the season?
You just keep the morale up, come in practice and work hard. That's the only thing we can do. Just control what we can control right now.
Derek, it seemed like in the first half, or early in the game, you guys were making plays. You were forcing fumbles. They just, didn't fall in your guys' hands. Was that frustrating that then eventually South Carolina just kind of rolled after that? But you guys had a strong start. Did it fall apart there?
We just didn't. The ball just didn't roll in our hands on some, but we had some missing assignments that we can fix.
What else does the defense need to do to improve?
Just come in and not make the minimal mistakes like we was doing today.
Mark, Coach Stoops said before the game, and even early into the game, he said something just felt off. Did you guys feel that as well?
I don't know. I didn't feel off, but as a team, we just got to come in and do better.
You think it was a communication issue, or just what was going on out there?
I don't think it was no communication issue. We just having a bunch of mistakes.
Do you believe